in Nigeria. In 2024, the Central Bank of Nigeria gave a 24-month deadline to banks in Nigeria to shore up their capital base, with March 31st as the deadline. This bold move by the CBN is expected to strengthen their financial capability and, of course, fall in line with the $1 trillion economy plan of the current administration. As we speak, 30 banks have complied with this directive of the central bank, and the new capital base requirement, according to the CBN, is as follows. With the recapitalization order, international commercial banks are expected to shore up their capital base to 500 billion naira, national commercial banks 200 billion naira, regional commercial banks 50 billion, merchant bank 50 billion naira, non-interest bank with national spread 50 billion naira, and non-interest bank with regional spread 10 billion naira. So this morning we'll be looking at how far these banks have gone and the implication of all these bold moves by the CBN on the nation's economy. We have with us in the studio Mr. Kola Olaitan, is a chartered accountant and a friend of the house. It's a pleasure to have you.
Very good morning.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
All right, so let's take a larger look at the picture of this recapitalization order by the Central Bank of Nigeria. What does it portend for our banking system and the nation's economy at large?
Yeah, once again, good morning. It's good to be here once again on this same topic.
Platform, right?
It's what if. I think it's a good one. Like I said when last we met, it's a bold move, like you have emphasized. And the intention really is to ensure that the banks are able to live up to their expectation of the customers, the economy, and the nation at large. And basically what, like I emphasized the last time I was here, is just, I'm sure the banks are probably in tune with what is happening. Otherwise, we haven't had much noise from them to complain. So I want to believe it is, even though I have some misgivings about it. As we go on, we will talk about that. But looking at what the economy is saying and what is happening around, I guess it is
needed.
It is needed.
Sure. Right. Okay, so according to the CBN governor during his last meeting,
the
or
MPC.
during his
the MPC meeting,
the MPC meeting, yes. He did say that, just like Ajibola said, 30 banks are fully in compliance. There are just about 3 banks waiting, and they are undergoing final verification. But he also said concerning the funding sources of these banks, approximately 71.67% of the 4.05 trillion raised came from domestic sources, with 28.33 from foreign participation. So if you look at this ratio, would you say that that's a good one?
That's a very tricky one. No doubt about it. It's not unexpected.
Okay.
And not a bad one either. Okay. What he actually said is that we have 3 banks still going through verification, just to confirm that we have some banks that have not actually met
the recapitalization.
The recapitalization, what's the name called? So I think so far so good. It's something that is, you know, at the time this thing started, the economy was just getting out of the doldrums. And the issue with foreign investors was something that was
not certain.
Not so certain.
Right.
I expect that as time goes on, we might get more from outside, but not as at the time it started. There's no doubt that, just as you have for some other sectors, some of the foreign investors will also get into it, but maybe not
immediately.
Not immediately, because of what was happening at that time.
Right.
The confidence level is now a bit up, And there's every likelihood that we'll have more investors coming in.
Okay. So, sorry, Jubale, a follow-up to that. I mean, I'm glad that you said at least for now that the investment level is changing, and it feels like more people are beginning to have confidence on the Nigerian economy sector than it was. And so if you look at the deadline 2 years ago was when the CBN actually started, this race, and March 31st is almost here. So give or take by March 31, I remember that the last time you came here, you also said vehemently you do not see, the deadline being pushed forward because it's been done once. And so 31, come March 31, you stay where you are, or then you downgrade to a lesser bank if that is where your capacity is. And so if we look at where we are now, looking at the Nigerian economy as it stands and where the banks are also standing, do you see this also as a push for foreign investors who, if at all, would want to, just stick their investment on the Nigerian economy with the hope that it will get better than it is at the moment?
Sure, no doubt about that. You see, the truth of the matter is, we are here. We know what is happening. The foreign investors have so many variables to consider in whether to come in or not. Stability is one thing, because look, we've had this issue of back and forth. We move forward, take about 3 steps forward, and then another 5 steps backwards. That has been an issue, and so if you observe, definitely the usual thing would be for them to take a cautious move into our economy, and I wouldn't blame them. A lot of them will also be watching what happens in 2027. That will be an addition, because look, even though we do not expect that even if that happens, that any new government will come in and then reverse a lot of the things that is
reforms.
No, that probably will be suicidal for Nigeria and for the economy itself. But at the same time, as an investor that is not based here, even if I'm here, I'm sure some investors locally are also being cautious, because look, we've had it before, that we want to kind of move forward and then we take it backward again. So it's just like what happened to our refinery. So I wouldn't blame anyone whatsoever. But so far so good, no doubt about it. I guess we are on the right track. Even though it's slow in coming, the impact on the people is not as visible as we want to see, but it is expected, except we want to be unrealistic with ourselves. So what I want to think is that, look, the banking sector is the engine room of the economy, and they just must be in a good state. You talked of the issue of, I think what a lot of people will be thinking about is, what happens to my money? What happens to my bank? And so on. We've had this assurance, and I want to believe it will be suicidal for us to allow any of the bank to go under and people losing their money. Not at this stage. I think that lesson has been learned. Just like what the CBN governor said, you either have a forced merger, you have 2 banks already in that process already, or you have a downgrade, maybe a total liquidation, and then you have your account transferred to other banks. So that is what is to be expected.
At least the CBN on ground already shows that there's a way.
Sure.
All right, so okay.
Okay. So back to what you raised earlier, talking about investors' confidence. This recapitalization, does it imply that they are going to have a bigger balance sheet, and of course their credit quality would increase in such a way that it will be able to attract investors
into the banks?
Yeah.
Now, yes, exactly. That is the expectation.
That is the expectation.
That is the
That one is
expectation.
hanging.
No, you see, look, this thing depends on so many things.
What are those things?
It depends on, look, the management of the banks. It's so nice and good enough that the CBN specified the main sources that they expect the
money for the recapitalization.
money, exactly, to come from. That, to me, was a very, very smart one, a good one, because in the past they've played a lot of games.
Yeah.
You know how we have moved from having different end of the year for the banks, and then now we have everybody, you must end your year at December. But going back to what you have said, there is no doubt it is expected that, look, there will be more money available with the banks to be able to lend people, to be able to kind of support the economy, even though, just like some people have actually raised, that, look, if you have 45% CRR, you have the money of the banks, 45% of it sitting down with CBN, earning nothing, and so on and so forth. That means a lot. That is, if I bring in 100 naira, 45 naira out of it sits with CBN. It is a kind of a demotivator, and it is expected
because the money will
that
be there doing nothing.
Nothing.
will be there doing nothing.
Attracting anything.
But it's just a kind of a security for those of us, the depositors.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, look, these banks, you never can trust them, what they do. So I do expect that one way or the other, they will be able to kind of support their customers a lot more and be able to help. Somebody has even kind of posited that, look, maybe what the government actually wants is to be able to get more money from them for bonds and so on and so forth, because that is a guaranteed income. That is something that also gives them guaranteed them that, look, sorry, you're not going to lose your money. So that's
okay. I'm sorry. Even if the credit control is credit quality is going to increase, of course they will be able to lend more money to the real sectors of the economy. But at what interest rates for these sectors to survive?
Look, we have the CBN
and the monetary
there.
thing, yeah.
The monetary what's the name called?
Policy.
Policies there to guide that. It all depends on what happens, what is actually happening at any point in time, and that is what will be. Look, the truth of the matter is, I just hope that we can get. You know how much it will cost you to want to borrow money in UK, in the US, but we still pay so much here.
Yeah.
The thing is, it is expected that the banks will be a lot more creative in their lendings, in what they do.
Their own investment as well.
Exactly, sure. That is it. Because look, over time, you wonder what and the kind of returns they expect. Look, the real sectors don't make that kind of money, and so at the end of the day, you ask yourself, is it really? Does it really make sense me dumping my money with these people?
Yeah.
So very soon, there's no doubt the craze, which is already even happening, to kind of make money out of the banks or invest with them, will start going down, and then you look for something better to do with your money rather than investing with the banks.
With the banks, right. So earlier, you were also going to express some of your misgivings or some ways by which you're not quite pleased with either the recapitalization process or the banks themselves. So what exactly is the problem here with, the issue? Is it with the recapitalization? Is it with the banks or with the sector itself?
No. Actually, I already mentioned
Okay.
it. I mentioned the CRR.
Okay.
Look, you're having 1,000 naira and then 450 naira is sitting with the central
With the
bank
CBN.
doing nothing.
Right.
It is expected as we move on, as the economy gets better, that the CBN will probably bring that down a little. See, people also have this fear that, look, what exactly would you want the banks to do with this money? If they don't have much to do with it, then it's a disincentive.
Yeah.
That is, you have the money, and then you have to start looking for
what to use with the money.
You know, at the point in time in this country, the banks were all around looking for people to deposit money. Now they look for people to come and
get
take
the
loans. So, which to me makes a lot of sense, because that's what happens outside. Yes, exactly. So if that happens, so maybe what CBN is doing now will probably be in the interest of me and you.
Okay, at the end of the day. Yeah, so but then we'll still have to go back to the question Ajibola asked you earlier, talking about the
credit quality.
Yeah, and then the interest rates again, because we know that that's also one of the issues why a lot of small businesses would not even want to approach the banks in the first place. If we have 2 digits on interest, and then I think it was 27.5, yes. Then they've maintained 27.5 for a while now. And the fear is that, why would I even want to approach a bank and I'll be paying 27.5? So is this also able to help the banks or to help the CBN itself further control or further crash the interest rate, or the recapitalization of what impact, like you said, will it be onto you and I, like you said, that maybe at the end of the day it will be a better opportunity for us. But we also know that the banks themselves also have a way of changing their customers in their own interest. So at the end of the day, what's in it for the average Nigerian, especially the small business owner?
Okay, I guess what you see out there sometimes, you will be surprised that some of those banks, when they have a customer, a very large one for that matter, just like we haggle over things, do charge less than
27.5?
Yes, exactly.
Oh wow! Is that allowed? Is it officially allowed?
Oh, of course. This is business.
So it's bank to bank.
If you know you are going to make more money from something, and you are sure of getting your money back.
Okay, your return on investment.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Gets your return on investment and also get your capital back. You will be
flexible.
able to kind of yes, exactly, flexible. That's the word. Be flexible with what you are doing. Okay. So and that is what happens. What I want to say is this. You know, like you said, the banks cut corners. The other day we were talking to yes, exactly. Even the 27.5 that you talk about is not what a lot of us get, because at the end of the day, if me and you go to them, they ask you to go to their microfinance or their investment companies, and that's where you get money from at a very higher rate, and not even, the rate will no longer even be per annum, it will be per month. So you pay through your nose. So what I expect is that, look, with time, and the only reason why, this, just like the CBN governor said, it may be in fact, is the fact that, look, we're expecting election. Even though people have actually criticized that look, we're expecting election, and we expect that a lot of people will offload what they have amassed. So, and you are likely to have a lot of money in the system. So they have decided to just keep it like that. Don't be you. I'm sure you all know that some politicians go to the bank to borrow money to
fund elections.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that is one of the reasons why the CBN seems to be a bit cautious in dropping the interest rate. And maybe after, the only thing we thank God for is that, look, we are not having a currency change
like we did
20 years ago. Very frustrating. So what I'm saying is, that's on a lighter mood anyway. What I'm talking about is the fact that, look, the interest rate is as it is, But the higher it goes, the higher it also goes for some
For so
of
many things.
us. But you see, what I expect, what the government could do for the SMEs, for some individuals, and so on and so forth, and that also happens. You see, you notice that people get together as cooperatives, for example, and approach the bank
Right.
to
Source
borrow
for the
money,
loan, right. And then they
and at the
dispose
end of the
their
day,
own.
distribute it.
Okay.
That gives a better, because look, what the banks will always tell you is that what it will take me to lend to you 20 naira to you is what it will also take me to lend 40 million naira.
To another
So
person.
it makes sense to them to give a larger sum
Amount.
Yeah.
and then now make sure that they have it there rather than having
Many people,
many people
right.
on their ledger. So it's one of those things I expect. Let me please get down on that SME. The SME issue that I talked about, I expect that the government, state governments, even local governments, can go as far as getting some pool of funds and then get it from the banks and then
Distribute
give to people,
to the
to
small business
owners to be able to
do
do
their
business.
businesses.
I think we just need to get a lot more creative with the way we do business here.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
Okay, this particular government in power now is very ambitious when it comes to growing the economy.
Yes.
Of course, we can see the effort of the CBN governor, the coordinating minister of the economy. So, with this recapitalization of our banks now, does that give you the confidence that we're on that path to growing the economy of the country into a 1 trillion economy?
Of course, yes. Of course, I want to say yes. A lot is being done here and there, but at the end of the day, whether we will
Get there by 2030.
whether we will, no, there's actually nothing impossible except for some things that you probably may not anticipate that may happen, which is what, when you are doing projections, you will always want to consider. Is bearing all that. I'm not, you see, it's always nice to project very high, whether you now get there or not, but at the end of the day, that is what you are aiming at. Look, I want to get to London walking. Or look, you want to tell yourself, before this year ends, I want to build a house. May not necessarily mean that you probably build the house at the end of the day, but that's what you are working towards. And all things being equal, you may get there.
Well,
So
but
that's the way I look at it.
aside from the recapitalization, what are the other market indices that is giving you this confidence?
No. The confidence that we will get to the point that we want to get to is not just the bank recapitalization. There are a lot of other things that the support for SMEs. Oh, you saw the other day when this lady came around, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, came to the president. You see, these are little things that I believe support for agric, getting industries to be able to get back. I was so happy the other day when I heard that Siemens, what President Buhari started, they're going to wake it up. And something like that, that's quite a good one for me, because at the end of the day, the power sector just must. Very, very, very critical. You have a lot of other things that is
They are pointers
ongoing.
to,
Exactly.
Right.
Look, the issue of infrastructure and so on, and roads and so on and so forth, these are things that helps the economy. They may not be things that you will see.
They may not be big.
Yes, exactly.
But those small steps.
Exactly.
Right.
But I see a lot of things going on here and there that
It shows that the
that
economy
we will
is-
get there.
okay.
Look, for example, I expect that some of the modular refineries and others will be there very shortly. And if they are there, then we are already on our way. Look, that we were able to get rid of the subsidy frauds, to me, is a major one.
Step, right.
The forex too, yes, as negative as the impact has been, but I can tell you sincerely that like I've always emphasized here, I think we all need to start looking backwards.
Okay.
And please, let's eat Nigeria
and grow Nigeria, believe in
exactly.
Nigeria. Also, towards this, I think earlier this week, or was it last week, the CBN also sent a memo to banks to conduct stress tests ahead of the recapitalization deadline.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to explain. When I heard stress, I'm like, hey, where is this taking us to again? And then effective from April 1, the banks are to, go into this stress test and also look at the viability of the banks, the CCR, like you've mentioned, the shock system of the bank. So when we say stress test, especially for the average Nigerian that might have come across this, what is this? In layman terms, what does it mean for the banks to conduct stress tests?
The stress test is not different from what we go to do. What this medical thing that we do, going to check, do a checkup,
Right.
and then be sure that, look, sorry, everything within your system is fine.
Okay.
That is to put it in a layman's language.
Okay.
And that's not just to ensure that, look, the banks, they did that
In
years
2019?
back. Exactly. You see, they just to be sure that, look, they are what they tell us they have. He talks about the issue of their credit quality that time, and what their loan portfolios and other things are just what it ought to be.
Okay.
For me, that's a good one for us. It's a good one for the depositors. It's a good one for the economy.
Okay.
So it is not just that we sit back and we allow them dump their financial reports
Burden,
on us.
okay. And then we just take it hook, line, and sinker.
Okay. Exactly.
Right.
Yes. So I guess that is part of the duty of the CBN to ensure that, look, it's not just that they're telling us that they have, that will also give them an opportunity to ensure that, look, the money they are getting, it will also help those who are investing in those banks. And possibly, like we said, some banks might be asked forced into a merger
right.
at the end of the day.
Okay.
If it is, I just hope some of our experience of the past will not repeat itself, where some chief executives that you do not like their face end up collapsing their banks or forcing into a merger with a smaller bank.
Okay.
All in the name of
mergers and acquisitions.
Yes,
You expect that this should be done within the best practices and not the first. Okay, that's fine. Go on with your question.
Okay, well, for us to prevent such, what should be put in place?
And as you answer that question, let's also look at the role of the NDIC in this.
Yes. Now, you see, thank God we have we have a lot of ombudsman in place. What happened that time will be difficult to do now. All things being equal. Let me speak as the economist. I guess, just like we have just mentioned now, all eyes are on the CBN, and then to watch what will happen, and then to be sure that, look, sorry, our rights are not just trampled upon. Because, look, when that happens to one person or two or three, it then means that it could happen to us. So I guess that will just be it. That is not to say that it cannot happen. I'll give you my little experience, whether I can say this on TV. Some years ago, I watched an MD of a bank being doing a send forth, and it was in Lagos, yeah, and I saw the who is who in Nigeria, some judges, some military generals, the IG and everybody. And I said, look, if this gentleman, the owner of this bank, offends me tomorrow, who do I report to?
Oh, man.
So
after seeing the who and who.
I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that.
You report to God.
No, but sometimes, yes, reporting to God.
It's the
In
last
this country,
it's the last resort.
yes, it does work. If you get what I mean. You see, what I'm saying here is it's a little better now.
Yeah, than it was.
Yes, than it was. Otherwise, you saw how people fought our dear governor who wanted to be president of Nigeria, governor of Central Bank who wanted to be president of Nigeria, and frustrated every one of us. And that's why, look, I was one of those people who sit back and on the social media cursing him every day. Each time I see some of the old men crying, asking for money. So they are not trying to borrow. They want to have their money.
Yeah.
And somebody doing such a thing, look, for goodness sake, in a good environment, such a person shouldn't, do not let me go there. So I guess people just need to kind of govern with conscience.
Okay.
It's not about religion. It's not about Bible or Quran, no.
Okay, quickly before we go, the NDIC angle that
Okay, the NDIC is there to protect depositors. And I'm also sure the NDIC, as an insurance company to depositors, will also not just want anything to happen because at the end of the day, they will also have to be liable.
True.
Liable in the sense that, look, when you lose your money to any bank, they have to pay. Yeah. And everything will be expected to be done by them, including some of the legislators who are there, who do the oversight on them. It's part of what I said. Look, I didn't just want to mention the parliament because, look, a lot of us really do not have confidence in them. But I'll just leave it at that.
All right, we'll probably just leave it at that this morning. But, of course, March 31st is just around the corner. And in days to come, we will definitely hear the banks that have passed the recapitalization process, some banks that may merge, some banks that may be downgraded, and some banks that may actually go
God
away.
forbid.
But then again, we do hope that it will definitely not come to that. I'm sure the banks are also working tirelessly at ensuring that they maintain their customers and they retain their portfolios. But again, may God keep us all till after March 31st. Thank you so much, Mr. Kola Olaitan, for finding time to be with us on the program today. We appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. When we return, Adebimpe will be here with her Lagos conversation.